Hello children, I hope you are all happy and safe. Welcome to this special English hour. Here, every day, we will learn something new in a fun and interesting way. Are you ready to have fun? Children, today we'll be reading a very interesting lesson. The King of the Golden River, Part 2. If you recall, last time we had studied The King of the Golden River, Part 1. Children, while learning a language, it is very important that we keep learning new words. Now, I would like to share with you a few new words. Please listen to them carefully and note them down in your notebook. We'll come across these words in the lesson we'll be reading today. The first word is wicked. 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 The second word is furnace. 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 The third word is disappear. 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 The fourth word is dwarf. 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 The fifth word is thirsty. 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 So children, let me repeat the words once again for you. Wicked, furnace, disappear, dwarf and thirsty. Please look out for these words in the lesson we'll be reading today and try to guess their meaning. Children, we will be reading a very interesting lesson today. The title of the lesson is The King of the Golden River. If you have a textbook, please open to page number 82 and point to the words as I read. If you don't have a textbook, please listen to me carefully and watch your TV screens. Children, we will also come across the words that we just noted earlier. Let's look out for them and try to guess their meaning. The King of the Golden River. Part 2. Southwest Wind was true to his word. He did not return to Treasure Valley after that night. Neither did any other wind. So there was no rain. Nothing grew in Treasure Valley anymore. The brothers made no more profits. The wicked brothers then began to make money by selling gold. They melted in a furnace the gold articles they had. They mixed a lot of copper in it and sold the mix as pure gold. Again, they made poor Gluck work in a furnace while they spent the money on themselves. So children, what happens in the story next? The southwest wind does not blow over Treasure Valley again, nor does any other wind. As a result, there are no clouds, there is no rain, and nothing grows anymore in Treasure Valley. The wicked black brothers now had no money. They had a few gold articles. So, they started melting the gold and mixing it with lots of copper. They cheated people by selling it as pure gold and started earning money out of it. Once again, they never gave Gluck, their youngest brother, anything, and they made him work in the furnace to melt the gold. Soon, all the gold in the house was spent. Only one thing was left, a beautiful golden mug that belonged to Gluck. Gluck's uncle had given it to him when he was a baby. Gluck used to drink both milk and water from it. A strange bearded face was delicately carved on the mug. Gluck was very fond of the mug. He did not want to part with it, but his wicked brothers only laughed at him and threw the mug in the furnace. They asked Gluck to pour the gold when the mug was melted and went out on some wicked enterprise. Sadly, Gluck sat down to watch over the mug being melted. But strangely, after some time, he began to hear a voice singing from the furnace. He lifted the lid of the crucible, and what did he see? The face of his old bearded friend on top of the melted gold. The two wicked brothers, Schwartz and Hans, had melted all the gold in the house. Now there was only one thing made of gold left, and that belonged to Gluck. It was Gluck's mug. He drank milk and water from it. His uncle had gifted him with this mug. The mug had an intricately carved face of an old bearded man on it. Gluck was very fond of this mug. But the two wicked brothers threw the mug in the furnace and told Gluck to pour the gold once it was melted. Gluck was very sad and upset as he was very fond of this mug. He sat beside the furnace watching the mug melt. But after a while, a strange thing happened. He heard someone singing a song. He opened the lid of the furnace, and there he saw the face of the bearded man that was on the mug, and he was singing. "Come, Gluck, my boy," said the voice from the crucible. "Pour me out. I am too hot." Gluck was too astonished, but he took hold of the crucible and tilted it to pour the gold. Instead of gold, a golden dwarf came out of the pot. His was the face carved on Gluck's mug. "Pray, sir," said Gluck rather hesitatingly, "were you my mug?" "I am the king of what you call the Golden River," the golden dwarf told him. He added that another stronger king had turned him into a mug by magic. Gluck had freed him from that enchantment. So children, here the dwarf is the king of the Golden River, and Gluck had freed the king from the enchantment, the spell. The golden dwarf went on to say that he had seen how kind Gluck was and how wicked and cruel his brothers were. Then he told Gluck a secret. If anyone poured 3 drops of holy water into the river where it started on the mountain top, the river would turn to gold for that person. A person could try this only once, and if anyone put unholy water in the river, he would be turned into a black stone. So saying, the dwarf jumped back into the furnace and disappeared. When Gluck told this to his brothers, they did not believe him at first and beat him. But Gluck stuck to his story. So at last they believed him and began to fight over who should have the first chance to go to the Golden River. They fought so much that the police came to see what had happened. Hans ran away when the police came, but Schwartz was caught and put in the prison. Hans was happy that Schwartz was in prison. The very next morning he went to the church, stole some holy water and set off for the mountain. It was not easy to climb the mountain. He was tired and thirsty. Soon Hans thought he would drink some of the holy water himself. The little dwarf told Gluck the secret about the Golden River and then disappeared. Gluck shared this story with his elder brothers. They did not believe him at first, but when Gluck stuck to his word, then they started fighting. They were fighting over who will go to the top of the Golden River first. Schwartz and Hans fought so much that the police came there. The police caught Schwartz and put him in the prison, while Hans ran away. Hans was happy that now he would be the first person to reach the top of the Golden River. Next day itself, he goes to the church and gets a bottle of holy water. He makes his way to the top of the mountain. The route to the top of the mountain is not easy. Hans starts feeling thirsty and thinks of drinking some of the holy water himself. Just as Hans raised the flask of water to his lips, he saw a little puppy on a rock. It looked as if it was dying of thirst. Hans only pushed the animal away with his foot, drank some water himself and passed on. The climb now became more difficult. Hans felt thirsty again. He was going to drink some more of the water when he saw a little child on a rock ahead of him. The child was lying lifeless, its lips parched and burning. Ignoring the child, Hans drank some more water himself and passed on. The climb had now become very difficult. Somehow Hans reached the top of the mountain from where the Golden River sprang. A faint cry fell on his ears. Then he saw a weak old man stretched on a rock. "Water," the man said. "Water, I am dying." "I have no water for you," replied Hans. He jumped over the old man's body and ran to the river. The sun was about to set. The river shone golden in the light of the setting sun. Hans threw the flask of holy water into the river. But alas, the river did not turn to gold. Instead, there was only a black stone where Hans stood. Hans took the holy water and was on his way to the top of the mountain. On his way, the road became very difficult. It was a struggle to climb up the mountain. On his way, Hans came across a little puppy that was very thirsty. It was asking for water. But Hans just kicked the puppy away. After a little while, Hans came across a little child. The child was also very thirsty, but Hans gave no water to the child. In fact, he himself drank some more water and went ahead. Next, Hans met a man who was very thirsty and lying almost dead on a rock. He asked for water, but Hans even didn't give him anything. Hans had no mercy or pity on any of them. He himself kept drinking the holy water. By the time he reached the top of the mountain, there was very little holy water left. He threw the flask of holy water into the golden river and expected that it would turn into gold. But to Hans' surprise, he himself turned into black stone. When Schwartz returned from prison, he took some of Gluck's money and bought some holy water from a bad priest and set out for the golden river. While climbing the mountain, Schwartz too saw the fair child dying of thirst and passed on without giving him water. As he climbed a little higher, he saw his own brother Hans stretched on a rock asking for water. But the wicked Schwartz only laughed aloud and went on without giving him any water. Alas, when he cast the flask into the stream, he too was turned to stone. When Schwartz was released from prison, he went home, took Gluck's money and bought some holy water from a priest. Then he set out to go to the top of the mountain. On his way to the top, Schwartz also came across the little child that was asking for water, but Schwartz gave him nothing. As he moved further, he also came across his own brother Hans, who was thirsty and asking for water. But Schwartz did not pay any attention to him. In fact, he was laughing at his own brother. When Schwartz reached the top of the mountain, there he once again cast his flask on the river, and to his surprise, he turned into black stone. Gluck waited and waited for his brothers, but they did not return. At last, he decided to visit the Golden River himself. He went to a good priest who willingly gave him some holy water. Gluck was young and small, and he too found the climb very difficult. After he had climbed for an hour or so, he became very weak. He was about to drink some water when, like his brothers, he saw an old man. The old man walked towards Gluck, leaning on a staff, and asked for some water. Gluck saw that the old man was pale, tired and thirsty, so he gave him the bottle of water. The old man drank up nearly 2/3 of the water. Then he returned the bottle and wished Gluck well. Gluck waited for both of his brothers to return, but when none of them returned, he decided to go to the top of the mountain himself. He went to a good priest who willingly gave him some holy water. Gluck was too young, but still he tried his best to climb the mountain. Then Gluck met with an old man. This old man asked Gluck for water. At once Gluck gave him the flask with the holy water. The old man drank almost 3/4 of the holy water Gluck had brought, and then he returned the flask to Gluck. Gluck did not have any water himself, but as he went on, his path became easier. After climbing for a long time, when he became thirsty, he saw the small child. Gluck was sorry for him and gave him some water. The child began to smile, got up and ran down the hill. Now, only a few drops of water were left in the bottle. When Gluck came close to the mountain top, he was very thirsty himself. Just then, he saw the poor little pup that was dying of thirst. I must help it now, thought Gluck. Otherwise, it may be too late. So he poured the remaining drops into the little dog's mouth. Gluck made his way towards the top of the mountain, and his climb became easy. He did not have any of the holy water. A little boy who was very thirsty met with Gluck. Gluck gave him the holy water. At once the boy had energy once again and went downhill. Gluck now felt thirsty, but as he saw only a few drops were left in the flask, he did not have any water. He saw a little puppy that was dying and it needed some water. Gluck thought, if I don't help the puppy now, it will be too late. So he gave the remaining holy water to the little puppy. The dog sprang up, and in his place stood the king of the Golden River. He was very pleased with Gluck. The king put in Gluck's bottle some dewdrops from the petals of a lily. Then he told Gluck to cast it into the leaping river. Gluck did so, but the river did not turn to gold. However, it changed its course and began to flow through the treasure valley, making it rich and fertile once again. Gluck lived in the valley, helping the poor and the needy. His barns were always full of corn, and he never lacked for money. In place of the little puppy sprang up the king of the Golden River. He was very pleased with Gluck that so selflessly Gluck had given all the holy water to the thirsty old man, to the little boy, and to the puppy. The king of the Golden River then put a few dewdrops from a lily into Gluck's flask, and he told Gluck to pour it into the Golden River. When Gluck put these few drops in the Golden River, the river did not turn into gold, but it changed its course. It started flowing through Treasure Valley, and once again the valley was lush green. It gave a good crop, and Gluck's barns were always full. Gluck did well for himself, and he also took care of the needy and the poor in the valley. Children, I hope you all liked today's session. I would now request you to please make some time and share the story of the King of the Golden River with your friends and family. Children, till we meet next time, please take care, bye-bye and stay safe.